Imagine waking up to a thunderous sound, metal tearing through the silence as a new wave of destruction unfolds overnight. Could this be the turning point in a conflict where every military asset is vital? On December 18, a daring strike by Ukraine's special drone units transformed the battlefield, dealing a staggering blow to Russian defenses in Crimea. The attack lit up the night sky, leaving behind a trail of wreckage that cost Russia hundreds of millions of dollars, assets that took years to build, now reduced to smoldering ruins. The target was the infamous Belbek airfield, located in Sevastopol, a crucial stronghold for Russia's military operations in Crimea. Ukrainian long-range drones, operated by the elite Alpha Special Operations Center of the Security Service of Ukraine, executed a precise, calculated assault. The sounds of distant engines, the crackle of electronic signals, the scent of burnt metal filled the night. These drones didn't just strike blindly, they methodically dismantled Russia's most critical aerial capabilities. Among the destroyed assets was the prized MiG-31 fighter jet, a symbol of Russia's aerial dominance, designed to intercept targets at both medium and high altitudes. The jet, reportedly loaded with weapons, was worth around $50 million, a very dangerous enemy if equipped. But the strike didn't stop there. SBU drones also obliterated two Nebo SBU radar detection units, their worth estimated between $60 to $100 million each. These radars, considered the eyes of Russia's air defenses, were critical for tracking incoming threats and coordinating fighter jets. The attack didn't end with radar systems. Ukraine set fire to a Pantsir S-2 air defense system, a piece of military hardware valued at $12 million, along with a 9-2N6 radar, part of Russia's formidable S-400 missile network, costing $30 million. The cumulative damage? An eye-watering $200 million in losses for Russia in just one night, assets that took years of heavy investment to establish, now reduced to smoldering wreckage. This unrelenting attack targeted the very core of Russia's aerial defense network in Crimea. The destruction of these radars and aircraft systems severely weakens Russia's ability to defend or attack effectively in the region. Most significant of all is the loss of the MiG-31, a jet specifically built to hunt down high-flying targets. Its disappearance sends a message that even Putin's most formidable aircraft are vulnerable, a blow that will resonate far beyond Crimea. But why do these systems matter so much? To understand the magnitude of Ukraine's blow, we need to grasp their importance. The MiG-31 is designed for interception, meaning it's the ultimate shield against incoming threats. Its combat load would have included air-to-air missiles capable of striking distant targets, perhaps even Ukrainian fighters or drone swarms. Losing such an asset leaves Russia's skies less defended, more vulnerable. Similarly, the radars, the Nebo SVU and the 9-2N6, are like the eyes of the battlefield, providing real-time data to coordinate defenses. With two radars destroyed, their ability to detect and track drones or low-flying aircraft is severely compromised. Imagine the shock of these systems failing precisely when they're needed most, allowing Ukrainian drones to operate undetected or strike again. That silence, that absence of warning, could cost Russia dearly. And what about the other assets? Ukraine claims to have taken out a Pantsir S-2 air defense system, designed to shoot down aerial threats at ranges up to 30 kilometers. Without it, the defenses become less responsive, vulnerable to swarms of incoming aircraft or missile attacks. This isn't just about losing hardware, it's about undermining an entire defensive perimeter, leaving cleanup and restitution in billions of dollars worth of damage. The question lingers, was this just a tactic to inflict material losses? Or was this a direct challenge to Russia's confidence in Crimea's security? Each destroyed asset is a crack in Russia's armor, a reminder that no military hardware, no matter how advanced, is invulnerable. Ukraine's daring use of long-range drones has rewritten the rules of engagement, turning the battlefield into a chessboard where every move has devastating consequences. As the dawn approaches, Russia faces the grim reality: its once impeccable defenses now sit crippled and silent. The loss of vital assets such as the MiG-31 and radar systems is not merely a financial blow, it's a strategic defeat. Could this signal a new phase of vulnerability for Russia? Or is it merely a wake-up call that Ukraine's resolve is stronger than ever? Only time will reveal how this night strike will reshape the conflict in the days to come. In the grip of relentless conflict, Ukraine's security service, the SBU, openly boasted about their midnight triumph. Through a Telegram post, they released drone-captured images. This revealed the scale of destruction in occupied Crimea. Long-range drones from the SBU's Alpha Special Operations Center had struck hard. They targeted Belbek military airfield. What shocking truth would the SBU unveil next? The air crackled with tension that night. Heavy machinery rumbling in the distance. Burning fuel casting an acrid smell that stung the lungs. Could a single strike truly cripple an empire's defenses? The SBU proudly announced their assault on Russian air defenses at Belbek, in temporarily occupied Crimea. They listed the targets obliterated by their drones. Among them stood the MiG-31 fighter jet, pried apart at its seams, valued at up to $50 million, and fully armed for battle, ready to rain death on Ukraine soon. The Kremlin's prized asset reduced to twisted metal. Imagine the roar of engines silenced forever. The weight of lost weapons shifting the war's balance. What humiliation for Putin as Ukraine turned his tools against him. SBU drones shredded not one but two Nebo SBU radar systems too, each costing $60 to $100 million. Antennas splintering like dry twigs. Painting screens going black in agony. A Panzer S-2 air defense system erupted in flames. $12 million in smoke. And a 9-2N6 radar for Russia's S-400 shattered. 30 million more lost to the abyss. Thrilled voices tonight. Crowds chanting in shadowed halls. The total toll on Russia soared to about $200 million. Voices from the SBU echoed victory, declaring their relentless destruction of Crimean air defenses. These shielded the invaders' key bases and supply lines, stripping away layers of protection, weakening enemy might in the Crimean theater. Russia bled wealth in the pre-dawn hours of December 18. Yet the true agony lay in squandered hardware, relied upon by Putin to shield Crimea and unleash fury on Ukraine's skies. We've outlined Russia's devastating losses. But to grasp Ukraine's masterful blow, we must dissect these systems' roles in Russia's web of power. Startling revelations await. Do you feel the tremor of history shifting? The cold metal of defeat clenching hearts. Why did the MiG-31's fall sting deepest? Begin with the night's crown jewel. The eradication of a MiG-31. Military analysts dove into Ukraine's feat, highlighting the jets designed to seize and slay aerial foes. From medium to dizzying heights, it loomed at Belbek, poised to hunt the very drones that doomed it. No mercy from the skies above. Fighter screams fading to whispers. Rhetoric twisted humorously by the war zone, casting doubt on SBU claims that the MiG-31 brimmed with munitions. Surveillance footage showed empty wing pylons under its fuselage. Perhaps hidden air-to-air killers lurked, but visible ones vanished. A decoy's cruelties? Real jets spotted at Belbek lately. If genuine. This marked Russia's second MiG-31 fatality there, from a fleet of roughly 130. A deeper wound in its arsenal. Army technology unearthed potential payloads. If SBU reports held true, armored with diverse interceptors, like the long-reach Vimpel 33E, navigating inertially to obliterate distant giants. Bombers or even behemoths like the B-52 Stratofortress. Ukraine might have dreamed of jet assaults. Russia stayed vigilant with short-range R-60 Mk or medium-range R-40 TD1 to swat incoming threats. Plus a 6-barrel 30mm cannon, stocked with 800 piercing rounds, firing over 10,000 per minute. Destroying any would fray Russia's edge. The MiG-31 dominated Belbek's defenses, but radars guide the blind. Without them, even titans stumble. Springing Ukraine's radar purge in the December 18 onslaught. Focus shifts to the Nebo SBU twins. Smashed senseless. New Sky hailed them as Crimea's air shield. Eyes coordinating jets and defenses at Belbek. Odin revealed the family's high-frequency might. Delivering 2D and 3D aerial maps. Unveiling 350 kilometers of turmoil. Tracking 100 foes at once. Spotting allies. Neutralizing electronic saboteurs. Perfect for Ukraine's drone swarms. Yet they faltered. Failing to warn of incoming doom. Rendering jets and defenses impotent. If these were Belbek's last. Ukraine blinded an outpost. Radar woes compounded. The 9-2N60 fell too. Vital to S-400 triumph. Its ruin might paralyze the battery. Precision lost. Expensive relics idling. Detailing another blow. New Sky estimated S-400 downtime at $500 million. Squandered might. Army recognition dubbed it gravestone in NATO tongues. Mobile Sentinel scanning 360 degrees. Hunting 100 marks. From jets skimming treetops. To ballistic rockets. Seeing drones glide 20 meters high. From 300 kilometers afar. Ukraine's attackers evaded notice. Slipping past to extinguish it first. Voices cry out. Echoes of victory in the dark. Can Panzer S2's collapse offer fresh despair? Lastly, the Panzer S2's fiery end. Short-range Guardian striking 30 kilometers. Armed with evolved missiles from its S1 kin. A dense package of fury. Flames licking the night sky. Melting circuits under scorched earth. Smoldering remains choking the air. What unresolved fury lingers for Russia's fractured will? This strike shreds not dollars, but dreams of dominance. Twisting fate in Ukraine's favor. Yet shadows hint at deeper turns. What unseen counters await? Amid the haze of burning ambition, the sting of lost skies persists, driving the conflict's unyielding storm. The previous night's attack was a devastating blow to Russia's defenses, but what if the true cost was even higher than it seemed? Imagine a fighter jet, designed to dominate the skies, its mission, intercept and destroy aerial threats at high and medium altitudes. The Russian military believed that their advanced MiG-31 was safe in Crimea. They thought their radar systems created an unbreakable shield. But this night shattered all those illusions. Ukraine's strike at Belbek airfield was nothing short of shocking. Reports reveal that Kiev's drones, controlled by the elite Alpha Special Operations Center, targeted key Russian assets. Among the wreckage was a MiG-31 fighter jet, a symbol of Russia's aerial dominance. Ukraine claims it was fully armed, ready for combat, a lethal predator. Yet footage suggests otherwise, no visible armament under its wings. Was it a decoy? Or a real threat waiting to strike back? The truth is murky, but the damage is undeniable. If this jet was genuinely loaded, it could have carried devastating air-to-air missiles like the long-range Vempel 33E, designed to target massive aircraft, even bombers like the B-52 Stratofortress. Russia's hope was to keep this aircraft in Crimea, ready to defend the peninsula, or even launch strikes against Ukraine. Instead, it was taken out in a blaze of fire, its absence a crippling blow. Yet, the true loss goes beyond a single airplane. It's the intelligence, the radar systems, and the strategic advantage that Ukraine's attack has dismantled overnight. How did they pull it off? The key lies in radar systems aiming to blind and weaken Russia's defenses. Two of Russia's most crucial radars, the Nebula SVU complexes, the eyes responsible for tracking everything in the sky, were obliterated. These systems, capable of detecting targets up to 350 kilometers away and tracking hundreds simultaneously, were supposed to be the backbone of Crimea's air security. Instead, Kiev's drones snuck in and destroyed them with surgical precision, leaving Russia's air defenses in chaos. Specifically, Ukraine targeted a stealthy radar system, designated the 9-2N6E, integral to the operation of Russia's S-400 missile system. The loss of this radar could mean the entire missile battery becomes useless, unable to lock onto targets accurately. Reports estimate this single strike will cost Russia around $500 million, a staggering figure for hardware rendered ineffective in moments. It's almost as if Kiev's drones pierced the very core of Russia's military shield, leaving the entire battle network in disarray. But what remains most suspenseful is the fate of the aircraft that Ukraine claims to have destroyed, an advanced MiG-31, a missile-equipped Predator stationed at Belbek. This jet was built to intercept and annihilate threats at lightning-fast speeds, armed with an arsenal of air-to-air missiles like the long-range Vimpel or 33E. Designed to take out bombers and high-altitude targets, it was a formidable guardian of Crimea's skies. But was it really fully loaded this night? Or was it just a decoy? Military experts highlight that if the MiG-31 was loaded, it could have carried weapons capable of striking targets at extreme distances, turning the jet into a flying fortress. Rumors suggest it might have been armed with short-range or 60 Mk missiles or mid-range or 40 TD-1S tools to fend off incoming drones. The jet's massive 30mm 6-barrel cannon, firing over 10,000 rounds per minute, could turn the skies into a chaos of flying shrapnel. Yet, the footage shows no visible weapons, raising questions about the true state of this aircraft. So, why did Ukraine target such a high-value target? The answer lies in the vulnerabilities of Russian radar and early warning systems. Even the strongest fighters are useless without eyes in the sky. By destroying these radars, Ukraine has not only taken out a specific aircraft but has dealt a severe blow to Russia's entire strategic posture. The skies over Crimea are now filled with uncertainty. Could this single attack signal a new phase of constant vulnerability for Russian forces? Or is there more to this story, another twist waiting to unfold? As the dawn breaks over a trembling Crimea, the true extent of Ukraine's daring night assault remains hidden in shadows. One thing is certain, the balance of power has shifted. But at what cost, and what consequences lie ahead? The skies are watching, and the enemy's silence might be the loudest alarm of all. A startling revelation unfolds: Ukraine's precision strikes are not just damaging, they're crippling Russia's crucial defenses in Crimea. Imagine the once impenetrable radar systems, the eyes of Russian air defense, suddenly silent, rendered useless overnight. What if these radars, essential for tracking tens of targets and coordinating fighter jets, are no longer reliable? The silence is deafening, and it could change everything. In the early hours of December 18, Ukraine launched a series of meticulously planned drone attacks against the Belbek airfield. Among the targets were the vital radar complexes that Russia relies on to see the skies. Two of these key systems, known as the Nibwa SVU, were completely destroyed. These radars, built in 2004, are like the eyes that monitor aerial activity across the region. Capable of providing detailed 2D and 3D data, they can identify friend from foe, track 100 targets at once, and detect aircraft as low as 20 meters flying up to 350 kilometers away. Their loss? A catastrophic blow to Russian defenses. Why are these radars so critical? They're responsible for orchestrating the entire air defense network around Crimea. Without them, fighter jets and missile systems become blind, like hunting in the dark. Ukraine managed to neutralize two of these radars, leaving the Russian military vulnerable and exposed. How many more remain? No one knows. The shattered radars aren't just loss of equipment, they're a blow to Russia's strategic advantage, possibly crippling its ability to respond to Ukrainian drone swarms and missile launches. The stakes escalate when considering the other destroyed assets, the mighty MiG-31 fighter jet, loaded with cutting-edge weaponry, once stationed at Belbek. This aircraft, capable of intercepting targets at extreme ranges with sophisticated missiles like the Vimpel or 33E, symbolizes Russia's aerial dominance in Crimea. The jet was reportedly loaded for battle, yet Ukraine's drones struck it down, revealing a brutal truth. Even the most formidable aircraft are powerless without reliable radar guidance. Does this mean Russia's air superiority is crumbling? The conflict's tide might be turning. But the attack went even further. Ukraine targeted a vital 9-2N6E radar, an essential element of the S-400 defense system. This radar, nicknamed Gravestone, can track low-flying targets over 300 kilometers away, covering 360 degrees around it. Losing this radar isn't just a setback, it's a reset button on Russia's missile defenses. Without it, the entire S-400 battery at Belbek might be rendered useless temporarily, costing Russia hundreds of millions of dollars each hour. Imagine the pressure, millions wasted while the skies grow more unpredictable by the minute. What's behind this bold offensive? Ukraine's daring drone operators, controlled by the security service of Ukraine's Alpha unit, display unmatched ingenuity. Their drones, silent and ghost-like, infiltrated the defenses, striking at radars, jets, and missile systems with surgical precision. Each destroyed asset isn't just a piece of hardware, it's a punch to Russia's confidence. A sign that their once feared fortress in Crimea could be vulnerable to the smallest of enemies. And yet, the question remains, what's next? Will Ukraine's relentless campaign continue to dismantle Russia's physical and strategic defenses? Or will Russia respond with escalated measures? The night of December 18 revealed a harsh reality. No matter how powerful the military hardware, the battlefield is often decided by unseen eyes and silent strikes. The outcome could reshape the very fabric of the ongoing conflict, leaving the world to wonder, how long can Russia's defenses hold? A faint hum fills the air, the scent of burning fuel and scorched metal lingering as darkness falls. Beams of drone light cut through the night sky, echoing the relentless pulse of Ukraine's daring strike. Just hours ago, they unleashed a devastating attack on Crimea's military heart, destroying some of Russia's most precious and expensive assets. The question haunts everyone, can the Kremlin rebuild what was lost? In a stunning midnight attack, Ukraine's precision drones targeted the Belbek airfield in Sevastopol, hitting hard where it hurts the most. Long-range drones, controlled secretly by Ukraine's special operations, rained destruction on Russian fighter jets, radar systems, and defense units. The air was thick with the crackle of weaponry and the sharp smell of burnt electronics. Ukraine's assault didn't just damage machinery, it struck at Russia's confidence, costing them hundreds of millions of dollars in a single night. Among the destroyed assets was the renowned MiG-31 fighter jet, Russia's pride in the skies. Designed to intercept high-flying targets, this jet represented Russia's aerial dominance. Yet, it was no match for Ukraine's precision strikes. Reports suggest the MiG-31 was fully loaded with deadly missiles, possibly ready to counter any Ukrainian advances. But was it a real threat or a decoy? The images reveal an unarmed aircraft. Still, experts warn that even an unarmed MiG-31's relevance is immense, it's a symbol of Russian strength. The destruction of radar systems was equally impactful. Ukraine's drones targeted the Nibwa SVU complexes, known as the eyes of Crimea's air defenses. These radars could track hundreds of targets over vast distances, providing crucial coordination for Russian fighters and missiles. Yet, on this night, two of these advanced radars disappeared from the sky, falling silent. What does that mean? Without these radars, Russia's defenses become blind, vulnerable to further strikes. But the shock doesn't end there. Ukraine's drones also hit the legendary 9-2N60 radar, an essential part of Russia's S-400 missile shield. Known as Gravestone, this radar can detect targets from 186 miles away, tracking low-flying aircraft and ballistic missiles. Its loss could cripple the entire S-400 battery at Belbek, leaving Russia's most powerful defense system useless in combat. The cost? Up to $500 million wasted in a single night, with precious hardware rendered inert. As the dust settles, the true significance becomes clear. Ukraine's precision strikes have not only damaged military assets but also sent a powerful message. The night's chaos reveals a new vulnerability for Russia, an exposure of weaknesses in their most advanced defense network. What will be their response? Can they recover from this blow, or is this just the beginning of a new chapter in the battlefield? The stakes have never been higher. Each destroyed system was a pillar supporting Russia's control over Crimea. Now, with these assets wiped out or disabled, the battlefield shifts. Ukraine's daring and resourceful tactics have altered the game completely. The question remains, how long can Russia hold on to its crumbling defenses? What will be the next move when the shadows of ruin stretch across their military horizon? Imagine this, darkness enveloping Crimea like a heavy shroud, the distant hum of drones piercing the night air, carried on the salty breeze from the Black Sea. Did Ukraine just blind Russia's mighty defenses, leaving Putin gaping at millions in flames? Russia scoffed at Ukraine's reach, but once again, those strikes shattered their illusions, costing billions in shattered steel and silenced weapons. In the previous drone dance of destruction, Ukraine's relentless weapons took down a MiG-31 fighter jet valued at up to $50 million, loaded for battle, along with two Nebo SVU radar systems worth $60 to $100 million each. They crippled a Panzer S-1 air defense system for $12 million, and obliterated a 9S-3060 radar, part of the S-400 arsenal, tagging another $30 million in losses. Total? About $200 million evaporated in that fiery dawn. Now, diving deeper into the agony of defeat. What's left for Putin to cling to when his shields are riddled with holes? Feel the tremor of impact, explosions rumbling like thunder under the stars, acrid smoke choking the air, ash raining down on cracked concrete. The Panzer S-2 air defense system, Ukraine claims, fell to their drones. Short-range and fierce, it strikes targets up to 30 kilometers away, or roughly 18.6 miles, armed with upgraded surface-to-air missiles. These aren't mere echoes of the Panzer S-1, they're sharper, deadlier evolutions. Equipped with its own radar. Detection range spans about 10 kilometers. That's 6.2 miles beyond the missiles. The radar spots, tracks. Missiles rise, destroy. Buffer for error, time to slash back at threats. If missiles miss, guns roar in. Twin to a 38mm 30mm cannons. Combined fire rate? 5,000 rounds per minute. Bursts up to 250. Grating stutter of automatic fury. Backup when skies demand brutality. Sum it up, those four assets. Core of Belbek's defenses. Fighter jet, radar eyes, defense node, all rubble. Ukraine didn't just hit, they dismantled an empire's edge. But the blow lingers. Why target Belbek at all? It's a linchpin. TWZ reveals, extends coverage deep into Ukraine. Screens Sevastopol's naval base. Reaches far into the Black Sea. A fortress, vulnerable at last. New Sky Echoes, Russia's premier Crimea airfield. Houses Su-30s. MiG-31s. Helicopters. Launches strikes on Ukraine. Aerial assaults over the sea. Defensive outpost transformed into offensive womb. SBU's strike unveils more. Radars gone, air defenses crippled. Drones find easy prey. Belbek wobbles, exposed. Surrounded by blue oceans whispering chances for assault. What if Ukraine's ships glide unseen? Naval fleet risks ambush. Gaps yawn wide over the Black Sea. Threats slip through like fog. Shadows beckon strikes. Will Putin scramble to plug the void, or watch it swallow more? Picture the pre-dawn silence of Crimea shattered, sirens wailing faintly, followed by the bone-rattling booms of explosions, the scent of burning metal hanging thick, like despair clinging to the chill air. Could one Ukrainian raid have crippled Russia's vaunted air shield, turning their billion-dollar toys into useless scrap? Ukraine laughs off Russia's boasts of safety, while Putin's empire reels from the cash and the crash. Following the blistering chaos, Ukraine annihilated key elements at Belbek airfield, a MiG-31 fighter jet worth $50 million, two Nebo SVU radars costing $120 million, a Panzer S-1 system at $12 million, and a 9S-3060 radar for $30 million, totaling a staggering $212 million in vaporized might. Crimea, deemed untouchable, burns as proof otherwise. Zooming in on the final pangs of destruction. Do these losses signal Russia's total unraveling, or just the prelude to more humiliation? The groans of collapsing steel echo as heat waves distort the night, sparks flying like defeated embers underfoot. That Panzer S-2 air defense unit? Obliterated, per SBU reports. A compact killer for short ranges. Engages foes within 30 kilometers, about 18.6 miles. Armored with enhanced missiles. Superior to Panzer S-1 models. Precision without mercy. Its radar sweeps ahead. Up to 10 kilometers out. That's 6.2 miles extra. Tracks intruders. Missiles soar. Enough span to repulse. Timely retaliation possible. Defense unchained. Failures happen. Guns deploy then. 2 2A38M cannons. 30 mm each. Fire rate stunning, 5,000 rounds per minute. Volley in 250 round bursts. Deafening rapid-fire symphony. Last-ditch saviors against evasion. Collect it all, these 4 blows. Heart of Belbec's Air Guard. Jet down with full load. Radar's skyward sentinels smashed. System itself erased. Ukraine carved open Russia's shell. Yet, targeting Belbek? Groundbreaking. TWZ deciphers, stretches influence inland. Protects Sevastopol Navy. Extends over Black Sea depths. Vital nexus exposed. New sky confirms, top Crimea base. Hosts Su-30s and MiG-31s. Helicopters too. Used for assaults. Defends seas. Offends skies. Dual role shattered. Implications ripple outward. Radars silenced, horizons clear. Drones invade freely. Vulnerabilities rise. Gaps in Black Sea defense. Ship dangers heighten. Unseen foes prowl. Will Ukraine exploit this right fracture, or does Putin have one last gasp? When will the tide truly turn against the invader's grip? In the dead silence of night, a daring strike unfolds over Crimea that shakes the foundation of Russian defenses. Imagine the darkness pierced suddenly by the flash of destruction, radars, fighter jets, and vital military assets reduced to smoldering ruins. Ukraine's secret weapons, controlled by elite drones, sweep through the sky, unleashing chaos on what Russia thought was an impregnable fortress. Can a single attack wipe out nearly $200 million worth of hardware in moments? It's almost too shocking to believe. Yet, this is exactly what happened at the Belbek airfield, an attack so precise, so bold, it leaves Russia reeling. The Ukrainian operation was masterminded with guerrilla precision, launched under the cover of night when enemy eyes are least alert. Did the enemy underestimate the power of Ukraine's stealth drones? Or was this a calculated risk meant to cripple its adversaries without a trace? What makes this strike even more astonishing is the focus on their most prized assets. Among the destroyed weapons, a Russian MiG-31 fighter jet, ambitious, deadly, now nothing but twisted metal. This jet, designed to intercept threats at both high and medium altitudes, was expected to be ready at a moment's notice to eliminate incoming Ukrainian drones or missiles. Instead, it became a prize of war, adding to the tally of Russian losses that streak through the night sky. But the real shock arrives with the attack on Russia's radar systems, the nerve centers that grant their aircraft and defenses the power to see the sky. 2 vital radars, known as the Nebua SVU, were obliterated instantly. These radar complexes, capable of detecting hundreds of targets hundreds of miles away, had been the eyes and ears of Russia's air defense network in Crimea. Their destruction turns the region into a black hole, leaving the Russian military blind. Could the entire airspace over Crimea suddenly become a free zone for Ukrainian drones? Imagine the silence, broken only by distant explosions. How long can Russia fend off the unseen? And then there's the loss of the 9-2N6E radar, crucial for the S-400 missile system, Russia's most advanced long-range defense. The radar, codenamed Gravestone, could track targets as low as 20 meters, covering a radius of up to 186 miles. With its defeat, Russian missile batteries are silenced. An entire sector of deadly defense rendered useless, letting Ukraine's forces probe deeper into occupied territories. What secrets could these gaps now reveal? Could this be the beginning of a domino effect that exposes even the most fortified Russian positions? The punchline lies in the numbers and the shock they carry. Over $200 million worth of advanced military hardware was destroyed in a single night. Russia's investments, years of strategic buildup, turned to ash in moments. Ukraine's daring approach has not only shrunk Russia's military edge, it has exposed a dangerous vulnerability. As these nightmarish scenes unfold, the question remains, how many more secrets lie hidden beneath the darkness? And what might Ukraine's next move be? The night is far from over. Imagine the fierce roar of engines slicing through the midnight sky, leaving a trail of destruction that shakes the very foundations of Russia's defenses in Crimea. What if I told you Ukraine just humbled Putin's mightiest arsenal, turning millions in military might into fiery ruins overnight? Picture the acrid smoke curling up from the Belbek airfield, where long-range drones from Ukraine's Alpha Special Operations Center struck with precision, evading Russia's nocturnal guards like ghosts through the shadows. That was the setup last time. Now, consider the shocking twist. Russia's elite MiG-31, ready to unleash havoc on Ukraine, lies in ruins worth up to $50 million, its weapons untouched by the blast. How does it feel to be stripped of your crown jewel in the dead of night? The air crackled with tension as explosions lit the peninsula, the ground trembling underfoot like an angry beast awakening. Radars that once scanned skies for threats now silent, their electronic hums extinguished forever. Two Nebo SVU systems, each a potential lifeline costing 60 to 100 million, shattered into oblivion, their antennas twisted like defeated foes in a brutal showdown. Do you sense the humiliation mounting, the loss of sight that blinds their defenses? And then, a Pantsir-S2 air defense unit, valued at 12 million, engulfed in flames, its metal frames warping in the inferno, smelling of burning circuitry and despair. Paired with a 9-2N6 radar feeding their S-400 systems, another 30 million evaporated in sparks and screams. Total bill? About $200 million in an instant. Leaving Russia's forces groping in the dark. Can you imagine the rage boiling in the Kremlin as their untouchable haven crumbles? But wait, what secrets did the night conceal that will unravel everything? Ukraine delivered pain under the cloak of darkness when air defenses slept soundly, drones soaring hundreds of kilometers without a whisper of detection. That strategic brilliance amplified the blow from before, weakening Putin's grip on stolen lands further. Moscow always brags about impenetrable shields, yet here they crumble like paper. Feel the crisp chill of the night air, the distant sobs of fading alarms as patrols lay unaware. Targets hit in sequence, a masterful chess game. Nebo SVU radars fell first, their long-range whispers of incoming doom silenced too late. Fancy seeing invaders? They faced blindness as Gravestone radars succumbed next, echoing thunderous crashes that deafened the base. S-400 batteries, once proud giants, now impotent, firing wild into emptiness. Could your world's protectors be so exposed? Panzer S2 followed, a logical prey, its built-in radar blinking out alongside missiles designed for seekers. Hungary's defeat near, Ukraine's drones sliced clear paths. And finally, striking gold, the MiG-31 erupted in a colossal fireball, reduced to ash and echoes. Whose turn to taste defeat now? Russia's whispers of resilience mask the truth, local claims of victories echoing like hollow taunts amid the blaze. The Defense Ministry? Unheard, powerless to spin false narratives here. But Ukraine revels in this victory, chipping away at occupation, one explosive gasp at a time. What hidden toll lingers, threatening to expose forgotten weaknesses? Picture the fallout rippling, those radars' failure to spot Ukraine's fierce approach, radar capable of tracking 100 targets at 350 kilometers, jammed by clever foes. Fury must simmer as S-400s waste, their $500 million potential mocked by a single loss. The 9-2N6E radar, mobile sentinel from 20 meters to 300 kilometers, dulled by sneak attacks. Heart pounding in the afterburn, the question haunts, how secure is security now? Imagine a quiet night shattered by a deafening explosion. The air thick with the smell of burnt metal and the distant roar of missiles. Suddenly, the tranquility is ripped apart. Ukraine's elite drone units strike deep into Crimea's heart, targeting the most vital Russian assets. In mere moments, millions of dollars in military hardware ignite in fiery chaos. Are these strikes just the beginning of Russia's downfall? Since 2014, Ukraine's campaign in Crimea has been quietly escalating. What started as isolated attacks on ships leaving the Black Sea has become a relentless barrage aimed at crippling Russia's military grip. Each strike tightens the noose around Crimea, slowly choking its usefulness as a strategic hub. Ukraine's goal? Make Crimea so costly and indefensible that Putin regrets every moment of occupation. But how close are they to breaking Russia's hold completely? One night, a daring assault at Belbek airfield changed everything. Ukrainian drones, controlled by elite special operations, zeroed in on high-value targets. Among them, a fighter jet costing up to $50 million, fully fueled and ready. A pair of radar systems, each worth hundreds of millions, vanished in a flash. Even a crucial air defense system was reduced to rubble, with a price tag of over $30 million. All in a matter of hours. The damage? Nearly $200 million gone in the blink of an eye. How did they pull off such precision? What secrets do these drones hold? The attack was more than mere destruction, it was a strategic blow. The targeted fighter jet, a MiG-31, designed to intercept threats at high altitudes, was a symbol of Russia's aerial dominance. Its loss sends shockwaves through their defense network. When such an aircraft is destroyed, what hope remains for Russia's skies? Was it a decoy or the real deal? Visual evidence suggests it might not have been fully armed, but the implications are clear: Ukraine is striking where it hurts most. Not far behind, Ukrainian drones tore through radar systems vital to Russia's air defense. The Nibla SVU radars, typically covering hundreds of miles and tracking dozens of targets simultaneously, disappeared without warning. How could they be so easily neutralized? These radars serve as the eyes for Russia's fighters and missile systems. With them gone, how can Russia hope to defend Crimea's skies? The implications are staggering: an effective blindfolding of their defenses. But the real blow came with the destruction of a key radar for the S-400 missile system. Valued at nearly $500 million, its loss meant Russia's most advanced defense could no longer function properly. For a proud military power, losing such a critical piece is a dark stain on their reputation. What does this mean for the stability of Russia's presence in Crimea? Are they on the brink of losing control? And yet, the attack didn't stop there. Ukrainian forces hit a short-range Pantsir missile system, further weakening Russia's front line. The consequences are clear: each strike chips away at Russia's ability to hold Crimea. As the dawn breaks over a battlefield littered with the wreckage of war, one question looms: how much longer can Russia sustain this silent assault? The fate of a strategic peninsula hangs in the balance, and Ukraine's relentless push may be just the beginning of a larger breakthrough. Remember the humiliation building in Moscow's denial? They still peddle Crimea as a tourist paradise, but cracks are forming, aren't they? Imagine the bitter sting of defeat, the acrid smoke of burning ambitions, as the Kremlin's facade crumbles under relentless blows. What if Ukraine's momentum shatters Putin's illusion, exposing the truth to millions? The League warns that if this campaign keeps surging, the Kremlin can't hide anymore. They'll ditch their spin and admit Crimea's Russian hold is perilously vulnerable. Picture Putin's rage, the tremble in his voice, as such a shameful confession escapes, truly devastating for a leader who thrives on unshakable pride. This could shatter the mirage for Russian families, showing their homes aren't safe havens despite Putin's boasts. Every muffled explosion, every flicker of alarm lights in those homes adds unbearable pressure, forcing Putin to claw desperately to hold his grip. The cold air carries whispers of fear, the ground vibrating subtly underfoot. Ukraine's resolve burns brighter than their strikes. They're slamming Crimea again and again, determined to pry the peninsula from Putin's fingers. Why stop now? The sensory barrage of sirens wailing, metal twisting in fire's embrace, sets a grim rhythm. Before this last SBU hit, Ukraine's shadowy elite, their ghost units, unleashed chaos for weeks, raining destruction on aircraft, radars, and strategic sites. Feel the heat of it: the rush of wind as drones swoop unseen, the faint echo of distant thuds. They've crippled Russian assets, turning once impenetrable bases into echoing ruins. But here's the jaw-dropping twist: what if this relentless pressure cracks Putin from within, not through battles, but by stirring the very soldiers he commands? As Crimea becomes a graveyard of wasted might, those 160,000 troops stationed there might see the futility, turning whispers of doubt into open rebellion. Moscow's holiday hype vanishes, replaced by undeniable tremors of withdrawal. In this epic showdown, Ukraine's strategy doesn't just weaken air defenses, it ignites a psychological wildfire, forcing Putin to abandon Crimea, or face the ultimate collapse. The Black Sea roars with change, the peninsula's shadows lengthening toward liberation. What will you watch next, as this saga unfolds? Pause. Thanks for joining the journey. Pause. Stay tuned.